Hey, welcome back to another RSG Lunch Stream. I'm Ranger J1999, one of your hosts and part of the RSG crew. Welcome to the Lunch Stream. If you're sitting there wondering, like, what the hell is a Lunch Stream? Well, that's where we just bring you guys good quality entertainment, or we try to bring you good quality entertainment for the next hour by doing some Ross reviews, answering your questions, just having fun, something to listen to during the doldrums of your workday. And I brought some of the RSG crew along with me. Let's introduce them. We've got Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman.
I'm full on lamb burger.
Yes, that's what you were telling us. So, okay. Never had a lamb burger. I've had a camel burger. I've had all kinds of other burgers, but
it's really good.
Yeah, I'll have to try
it.
It sounds delicious and full of vitamins and minerals.
It's true.
Yes, that's science. See, we're bringing science to the folks already. Also joining us is the one and only Mike Hunt.
Did you have mint jelly with your lamb burger?
Okay, we're moving on from that nasty.
No, it was feta cheese and arugula.
Oh,
sure
try it with.
Try with Fremunda cheese. It's funny.
I'm not a huge fan of lamb with mint jelly. I like it with tzatziki sauce, actually.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either. I've tried it. It was like, it's okay.
Do you get the vinegar mint sauce as well?
Okay, listen, we're not getting into a food discussion here, Mike, about your crazy English.
It is the lunch hour.
Yeah, but I can't eat right now.
Haha,
so
stop the ranger.
No, because I can't eat right now. Also joining us is the turd burger himself, Grim the Mechanic.
How's it going?
I say that now because Grim hates our ranting. I don't know why, but he doesn't like it. Just straight up hating on us, Finn.
No, I don't hate it. You know, everyone's got to cry every now and again.
See what I'm saying, Dr. Finn?
Just wait for the ouchie.
Yeah. We're just get ouchie and give him up the ass. Also joining us, who's in our better graces, is the soulless one, Stanley Red.
TGIF, everyone.
Hey, TGIF to you, my friend. And Stanley will be monitoring chat and scooping up your questions. So if you have questions, go ahead and get them in. Make sure they are in the form of a question or have the word question in front of it so he knows that they are a question. If not, then, well, that's on you, not him. And I ain't going to be, I don't want to hear it.
Do you guys remember when there used to be on Friday nights on ABC the whole TGIF lineup?
Yeah.
Family Matters and Step by Step,
I didn't watch it.
I always did. I was good at it. Now you go to Netflix and watch it whenever the hell you want. But I still remember actually TGIF meant you got to watch the shows like Step by Step and Family Matters because I love those shows.
All right, thanks for that trip down memory lane.
I feel old.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, no, right? Jesus. Like, remember when those girls that are hotties now were like girls? Like, what the?
Luckily, I was the same age as them at that time,
right.
So yeah, it was fun.
It's so weird. And now you're like, oh, well, they grew up.
Ones that were young when you were watching TV, and now you look at them now and go, whoa, like, they didn't age well.
Actually, they did. They aged
some did, but
well, like the girls from Full House. Good Lord, did they age well? Oof. Like that Stephanie girl. Jesus. It's like,
yep. Stephanie was my crush.
She's like,
Jodie
Sweden. Nurse.
She had a little bit of a drug problem, but I mean,
I don't care.
Considering how the way the Olsons turned out, I would
cocaine offer anytime. So just a couple of quick things.
Saturday night on Nick. Oh my God, I still remember like the good
shit
cartoon
about the
lineup.
channel, and you're talking.
Do you remember the good cartoon lineup? Ren and Stimpy, Rugrats,
yes.
Rocko's Modern Life. Hey Arnold,
Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, Cow and Chicken.
You idiot.
Yes, Cow and Chicken.
Cow and Chicken and Cat Dog. Can't forget about Cat Dog.
God. All right.
Wow.
Beavis and Butthead.
That's MTV.
No. That was MTV with Daria. That was another couple of good shows.
Yeah. He said penis.
Did.
Ooh, Are You Afraid of the Dark? That's true, Stama Osbuff. And then there was also The Secret Adventures of Alex Mack. That was a good one where she turned into.
Finn, why don't you just do everything then? You're going to go down memory lane here.
I'm talking with the people.
I'm drinking some coffee. Yeah, I'm just going to drink some coffee. Here we go. It's the Finn Sharks cartoon hour. Go ahead, Finn.
Oh right. So Rocko's Modern Life was awesome. I don't know.
No
if
Ross
you guys
review
remember
today, guys. We're just going to do this.
We have 2 roster reviews today.
Not anymore. Go ahead, Dr. Finn.
We have time.
No, we really don't.
Yeah, it's that was good TV. Good TV
Good
right there.
times. Good times. See, the cartoons I enjoyed growing up were always in the afternoons. Like when you got out of school, you had Thundercats, G.I. Joe, Robotech, Voltron. It was like, oh, there was so many. It was so good. All right. Couple of points. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, it really helps us with monetization and helps the channel grow, so we can keep bringing out the quality content that you guys enjoy. Also, make sure you give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't, if you'd like to support us outside of normal YouTube means, we do have our Patreon set up. If you'd like to become a Patreon. We have it all set up and all pretty and everything now for you guys. All the proceeds go to us keeping the stream going and making things better for you guys, so we keep putting out this quality content. So I think I've covered all of our bases. Now, Finn, do you want to do the roster reviews? You want to keep jerking off and keep talking about Nickelodeon shit?
I can do that after the roster reviews.
Okay, yeah. If you'd like to talk to Finn about this, go join him in La La Land. All right. Let's see here. So we have 2 roster reviews today. The first one is Bad Rongo. Wait a minute. How did this get in here? Can we recount this or something? I don't. Wait a minute.
Bad Rongo time.
Oh, okay. All right, and he is in a guild, has no name, GOTW. So shout out to those guys. What is Bad Rongo looking for today?
So he said he could use help with arena.
Really?
And with arena and mod placement. Yeah, so I guess it's a lot to do with the Treya stuff. I mean, he's able to get 1, but I guess it's not consistent. He said he's been struggling against Treya and Bastila teams and
really?
the 290 plus speed nests.
Well, speed is something you just have to farm for. I don't think there's really, there's some mods we could put on some.
Let's start with his Night Sisters. First off, let's see how his Night Sisters are. His Night Sisters are fine. Your counter to Bastila is Night Sisters.
Right.
And it's going to be an Mother Talzin lead, Asajj, Daka, Zombie, and General Kenobi. The whole premise of the team, you use the basic of Night Sister Zombie on one of the characters. I typically focus on Kenobi because otherwise he'll taunt and you have to focus on him anyways. And her basic puts tenacity down on somebody regardless of their potency or their tenacity. So you get tenacity down against the tenacity up that you get, or tenacity up that you get from Bastila, and it counters everything out. And actually, you can start hitting plagues. So then you just focus putting plagues on Kenobi, and then just watch as it spreads because it spreads regardless of tenacity. So all you need is 1 target hit, which is Kenobi with Zombie. Zombie puts tenacity down. Then you just start laying on plagues on Kenobi. So. Counter to Bastila team, that's 1. The other one is a General Kenobi, Barriss, Nihilus, Thrawn, and CLS. And essentially, you try to fracture initially either Ezra or Hermit Yoda because they do the most damage. I typically do Grandmaster Yoda because he spreads around Foresight and becomes just a pain. Plus, his little monkey butt keeps on like flying around the screen repeatedly. He'll do like 2-3 attacks in a row sometimes. And so you fracture Grandmaster Yoda. You prevent a lot of the extra buffs and stuff coming up. You keep on attacking General Kenobi, and at your first chance with Darth Nihilus, who you should be feeding turn meter to from Thrawn, you will annihilate either Grandmaster Yoda or Ezra, whichever one is doing more damage. Ezra being a little more threat if he has higher damage, and Grandmaster Yoda being a threat because he does special damage and doesn't crit very often, so you don't trigger the Barriss unique. So 2 pretty easy counters. They're like there may be the Kenobi team is like a 4-minute win team. The Night Sisters you can win some in between like 3 to 4 minutes because it does take some time to stack up the plagues and sometimes Hermit Yoda will
takes time to bring that team down. But
you shouldn't lose if you do that correctly with either of those teams. So right. Bastila teams, you're set. You have the rosters. Just need to use one of those lineups.
Unless he wants to use a trade lineup, and let's look at his Sith. I mean, let's see. He's got already Gear 12 Nihilus, Ness, and Scion. So, I mean, Jesus. I mean, well, if GG will cooperate with me, that is, I'll go ahead and look at his roster and kind of look at that. All right, let's filter. Oh, for God's sakes.
So potential counters. So counters against Treyas, honestly, they're difficult. There's some that are mildly
So he
consistent.
has
It's
no
hard
Treya. Damn it.
No, yeah, he doesn't have Treya. Counters against Treya are there, but they're pretty RNG dependent. It's one of the crazy things with regards to Treya right now. She's really, really good. If you have your own Treya team, then it's not a problem. But
Yes.
obviously, if you don't have your own Treya, getting a good counter is a little bit difficult. I'll shout out Chrome Cobra, who mentioned that you could use Death Trooper and go ahead and you can start putting Death Mark and start wrecking some of these teams, right? And then another one, Mavers, who's in my guild and on my Arena Shard, was using Imperial Probe Droid. And so one team that I started to use a little bit more is the combination of Rex, Death Trooper, Imperial Trooper, and Emperor Palpatine. And essentially, you try to annihilate Treya right off the bat. As early as you can, you annihilate the opposing Treya, and then they keep all of their debuffs. And once they keep all of their debuffs, the team ends up being a lot easier to handle. So a potential team you can run is a Emperor Palpatine, an Enfys Nest, because I think he had one, right? I think it's in his arena team right now, if I saw correctly. Yeah, he has a Gear 12 Enfys Nest. So Emperor Palpatine lead, Enfys Nest, Rex, Death Trooper, and Imperial Probe Droid. Not a team you want to leave on defense. It's a little bit of a hodgepodge team on offense, but it should get the job done. There are a few little RNG aspects to it. Now, if you are facing an opposing Enfys Nest that is fast, depending on your Imperial Probe Droid, because your Imperial Probe Droid is kind of low level, which is good, because it actually means that little bits of damage can actually reduce the health to below 100%, triggering the explosion. And so you may not even need Emperor Palpatine, in which case you can shift Rex into lead and then put Han Solo in there, and then Han can stun the opposing Nest first, and then your Nest can go and do the AoE days. So one potential option here for you. I'm not sure if you guys have any others, but that's, for me, been the most consistent, and even that is maybe like a 60-65% win rate. And because there is some RNG dependency on it, but I don't know if you guys have anything other that you use against Treya teams.
Yeah, Treya.
Besides Treya.
I mean, the Basla team you can use. I mean, I think you've listed out the teams that.
You've been using Basla against Treya leads?
No, I know people that do use Basla because you can.
How does that work?
She does work.
Yeah, she does work.
It seems like it would get nerfed. It would be like they would nerf themselves as they keep on passing buffs, right? How does that work?
I haven't played around with it enough to know, but I mean, you see Basla teams all in the top 10 on my shard, and it really is. I think it's because you're controlling the characters more than the AI is, and so you're able to control them a little bit more. So I'm not sure the attack order. I couldn't really speak on it, but I am working on the Basla team. I just got a 4-star with the Zeta, and we will invest in a little bit of packs and see if I can get her to 5 stars. Hey Finn, maybe I'll get lucky when I do one of those pulls and get 330 shards.
Yeah, right. Who do you think you are, Loki?
Yeah, it's funny because I have no chance in hell. They'll probably like penalize me. Like instead of getting 7, I get like 2. Like, wait a minute,
they'll take away 1 shard.
Hey, when was I supposed to get 5? Why did I only get 2? Oh, come on!
Didn't Ranger rant last week and opens a pack?
I know, right? They're just waiting. They're just they hosed me again on the damn loots. I got 1 in Heroic's pit. I'm like, yay! Then I looked at my loot. I was like, no. It was all garbage loot. I was like, no, not one piece that I can use anywhere. Really? It's all MK6. Oh, God.
Well, so back on the Bastila thing, Finn, with against Treya, if you can eliminate Treya first thing, her offense down bit when everybody gains a buff goes away. So if you can manage to take her out first,
that should be part of her leader. I thought that
It doesn't work when she's gone.
It doesn't?
No.
See, I can't get past this trooper with Bastilla.
Yeah, you're thinking Territory Wars, Finn.
Wait, what? No. If her lead ability is that whenever an enemy gains a buff outside their turn, they lose 50% offense until the end of their turn.
You're right.
But that's her lead. So even if she dies in the middle of an arena, that should persist. I don't know why that wouldn't.
Yeah, but you're still getting rid of Treya. And
you get rid of Treya, so now they keep all the debuffs, which is fine. But I don't see how the offense down part wouldn't still.
Well, it's still once you get Treya out the field, then you focus on the other ones. I mean, it's a domino effect because Treya is the one that will really wreck your shit.
Yeah, no. I don't argue with that. I think that that Treya is the biggest problem in that team. Sion and Nihilus, they can get annoying, but it's not really a problem. But it's it would be.
But yeah, it's still RNG based though. You can still get screwed royally.
Oh, yeah. especially people that are still running Palpatine lead. That Bastila has no problem with that team because I've seen fools just get wrecked with Emperor Palpatine lead, and it's like, all right, we go first, and Palpatine's dead. All right, let's go focus on another character, and they're almost dead. And it's like they haven't had a turn yet. It's like, holy balls! It's like, oh my god!
But yeah, like with Bastila, like
because
hey, guess Yoda, what? She isolated Grandmaster Yoda. Game over.
Yeah, basically, if she isolates Grandmaster Yoda, you're hosed. That's why it's really awful. You want Kenobi to get isolated, but then it's like. But yeah, her Grandmaster Yoda, because that team goes so fast and so quick, his big hit, especially once he gets buffed, I mean, he can knock the snot out of one of your characters. And I've seen them where he's even, like, they've hit Emperor Palpatine a couple times, and then Yoda does his big hit. It's like, oh, he's dead. Well, okay, that happened, so. All right, so what else did he want us to talk about? I think we went in depth with the arena shit.
So, hold on, let me double check here. So he wanted that. He wanted us to look at mods also.
Let's look at those mods. Let's look at that beam footage, Finn. Overall, his roster is pretty decent.
He's got some pretty decent mods. And looks like most of them are on his arena team.
Interesting. He could maybe do with some more speed secondaries. He has a few at the top end, but then it fades out kind of quick. Yeah, I mean, overall, his mods are on correct characters that he's using. It just depends on what he's focusing on. So if you want to get your Enfys faster or something like that, you may want to look at remodding a little bit. It looks like you may be switching between your Empire Sith and your Enfys team. I do that too in order to climb, and then I'll shift the Emperor Palpatine, Sion, Vader team on defense. The only thing, though, is you need a really, really fast Enfys. So no matter what I put on defense, I always remod to have Enfys be the fastest. So you may want to consider remodding a little bit, making Enfys your fastest, because if you don't have your fastest on offense, it's going to cause problems.
Enfys is got to be the fastest because she's got to be able to get that hit off and remove turn meter for your team to really be effective. Because if his
Enfys is at 280.
Yeah, if we
you need to get that like 300, at least 300.
If we can squeeze out 20 speed somewhere, even if because if Enfys goes first, it really makes your team disgusting. It can be a pain. Even for a trade team, it's like, God damn it, just like you still most trade teams can beat it, but it really that's if you're facing the AI. A good player with an Enfys nest on their team like you have. You can easily control the board because that initial hit, you're like, really? God damn it! Oh Christ, I'm in trouble. But mods, we're saying emphasis got to be faster. Anything else we're seeing in the mods?
No, I mean he has his mods on the correct characters, and they're all modded reasonably. They're not like super focused on one, I think, in order to get them the fastest. So that may be his next step in order to get a little more comfort.
Sure. Alrighty then.
But yeah, try to get all your best speed mods on Emphas to get that get as close to 300 as physically possible for your account, and then see if you can get some more speed secondaries.
I like that he's working on.
Yeah,
he's got Hermit Yoda gear 11, 7 stars. He's almost, I can tell he's working on Wampa, who's gear 11 and 6 stars. So that's really good. I think you're in a really good place, Badrongo. You got some really good, solid characters and teams and stuff. I think you're in a good place. I wish you were getting. I don't know where you are with your Dark Treya, because I think with the characters you already have maxed out. I mean, if you get Dark Treya, Trooper, Scion, Nihilus, Ness, go have fun. Just go have fun wrecking the crap out of people. Because once you get Treya, Triumphant with Trooper and Ness, just go have fun. Just go enjoy yourself. Wreck people. Just do it. A 5-star gear 11 Treya Zeta with that lineup with what you already have. Oh my god, I have a hell of a time with that team in Arena. I mean, even with the AI plays it, it's still 50-50. Sometimes I have bad RNG because the AI it gets a brain, and then I'm like, okay, I'm in trouble. And sometimes it's like, oh, you attack that person, thank you, I win. So, but it's really good on defense. All right, anything else we need to look at for Badrongo?
That's all he mentions. I think that's it. And Badrongo, if you have any other questions, just feel free to PM us. And
direct PMS or whatever you need to do, and we'll get you squared away. But I was Badrongo. Let's go to the next one. We have Toby One Kenobi's profile, and they are in Galactic Empire Andromeda.
All right.
Say that 5
and
times
Toby
fast.
One Kenobi wants us to look at his mods. He thinks they're okay, but maybe they need some changes. But he mainly wants us to look at his heroic Sith squads and his territory war teams. He said he's finishing Night Sisters, but doesn't know if he should go all the way on them and give a Zeta to Mother Talzin.
No.
So,
Mother Talzin, yes. I thought you said. I was thinking Daka.
Yeah. So territory wars, heroic Sith, Night Sister review, and mods.
All right. So let's look at his characters. He's doing fine in Arena. Very fine in Arena.
Mm-hmm.
No issues there. So territory wars. So let's think about some of the teams we can use in territory wars, offense and defense and stuff like that. So obviously you have the JTR team, which you have obviously have the pieces for. So that's one team. Defensive team is First Order. Let's look at that. We'll also look at your Night Sisters and some other teams. So let's look at your First Order. If GG would ever allow me to filter the goddamn shit.
Hello, Patrick.
You'll find.
Ooh, Gear 8 Unmasked Kylo. Gear 8 Regular Kylo. Gear 9 First Order Executioner. That's not too bad. Gear 8
so it doesn't look
Stormtrooper.
like
Gear
So
8
this is
First
just
Order
gear.
Officer.
Yeah, this is just a gear.
Yeah.
Thing. So,
yeah, he hasn't focused on First Order at all.
Right, so you can, and the team you want to run that's really good is Kylo Ren Unmasked, Kylo Ren, First Order Executioner, Stormtrooper, and First Order Officer. Just get into Gear 11, and that's a great, solid territory war team for you right there. That team is really, really good. And a lot of times people go on thinking that they can go in there with some weak-ass sauce team and try to beat it, and they learn a horrible mistake. And when you give that team turn meter, it happens with my team all the time. I'll at least, if I see that I win the first battle, I'm like, enjoy it. Because it's usually, and mine are all Gear 12. And usually, I mean, we're getting to that upper echelon, so it's not as effective. I only get 2 or 3, but back in the day, especially probably the guild GP that you guys are at, I'd get 5 to 8 wins easily on defense every time with that team. So it's a really good team. And it's still a really solid team in the sense that you have to burn a really good team to beat First Order. A lot of people are using resistance, but you have to have an exceptionally fast Poe, and it's still not a guarantee because RNG can get you. because first order with what they do is just ridiculous. But it is beatable, but it is a solid team for defense. Next, he said he was working on Night Sisters, so let's see how he's doing on the old Night Sisters.
I'm taking a look at his Asajj. His Asajj is double Zetaed, so it's good. And his Talzin... Oh, Talzin has her Zeta on Plague Bearer, so I guess he's asking... Yeah, you don't need to do the one on the leader from Mother Talzin.
No.
If you want to, you can. It's a nice one. Sure. I use it. I have both leaders, but it's not necessary.
Yeah, you've got Acolyte 11, Weak Zombie. His Night Sisters look pretty damn solid. This is a really good offensive team that could take on a lot of teams. JTR, they can take on the Bastila teams.
You need to work on your Talia.
Yeah, get her to at least gear 11.
So the benefit of Asajj lead, right? So if you're doing Asajj lead and you're thinking about putting this potentially on defense in territory wars, remember that the percent turn meter gain is based on dropping the 100% health, right? So you want to have abilities that are constantly healing in order to keep getting them up to 100 health, and then so they can drop below 100 health and gain that 50% turn meter. Acolyte provides no such thing. So you are better off with Talia because Talia can heal your entire team, and it can also dispel, which makes her really, really nasty in territory wars. So if you run an Asajj lead instead of a Talzin lead in territory war defense, you'd want to run a team like Asajj, Talzin, Daka, Talia, and Zombie. And so you don't need a Zeta on Mother Talzin lead. But work on Talia. She'll also help you, because you mentioned the Heroic Sith. She will be a major help for you in Phase 4 of the Heroic Sith raid. And it's going to be the team that you run in Phase 4 also. So keep that in mind. Offensively, if you're running the Night Sisters, you can do the same thing. It'll be Asajj, Talzin, Daka. And Ranger, you can speak more to that, because that team, while you use Plague, isn't as dependent on spreading Plague as a Mother Talzin team. But I know you use Asajj lead.
Because really what you're doing is as many times as Zombie dies, you're just pumping hits and stuff into Asajj, and she just starts hitting harder and harder, right? The Plague is just... You want the Zeta because you want Plague to spread. It just makes it easier to kill folks, right? No, I don't want to optimize my goddamn PC right now. Get out of here, support.
Where's the little paperclip to ask if you need help?
Oh, remember the paperclip? Oh, God. Oh, I hate that.
Memory Lane. Memory Lane Friday.
I wanted to just like, take the paperclip and bend it awkwardly and just have it like, no,
you just pop up on the middle of the screen. Do you need help with something?
Like, no, I didn't ask for help. Why would I need help? It looks like you're trying to do so-and-so. Would you like some assistance? No! What the
The most condescending paperclip in the world.
Yeah, if I wanted assistance, I'd ask for it. I was waiting for it to come in
like, you do know that you're using a preposition in this sentence, you dumbass. Like, well, what the hell? Why are you using Excel when you should be using PowerPoint? Shut the fuck. But no, it's really the way that team really functions. And with Talzin and Daka, I mean, you can really control the board because your zombie's constantly going down and it's just spreading, off. I mean, it's just helping your Asajj just rock and roll, and that's really what it's about.
Ski Trooper Califragilistic. It looks like you're writing a ransom note. Do you want assistance with that?
No, you should not use your real name. Jesus, what's wrong with you? Look, here, you know what? Let me just take over. I'm just waiting for his voice like, I'm sorry, Ranger. I can't allow you to do that. What, Dave? From 2001 A Space Odyssey? What's happening?
Another team that I've been noticing doing really well in territory wars has been bounty hunters. Bosk-led bounty hunters.
Yeah. They're really good. You have to use a good team. They are beatable, though. I mean, they really are.
I mean, all the teams are beatable, but
yeah, but I mean,
teams,
they are good.
Yeah, but you have to use a decent team on them. His bounty hunters look pretty. He's got a gear 12 Bubba. He's got a gear 11.
You do need the Zeta on Bosk lead, though.
Does he have Bosk is the thing, and I'm getting ready to start farming him. I just finished my Scion, so Bosk is now he's in the queue. So
yes, I know start farming Bosk because Dengar is the character of the month. We have no idea what the hell they're going to do. So bounty hunters might be a good thing to work on.
I keep on seeing screenshots of boss-led bounty hunters having freaking like 22 defensive wins, 16 defensive
I
wins.
think in the mid-tier,
18 and 20
mid-tier
defensive wins. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, mid-tier GP levels, it's really, really good. Upper echelon is like, oh, boss. Okay, let's just go in there and rock and roll.
To be fair, you only see those screenshots because nobody takes screenshot of their one defense team.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Oh god. Let's see. Let's look at your Jedi real quick. Another team I'm starting to see pop up on defense is the Bastila Run team. Just curious what you have for Jedi. All right, you got old Ben at 12 stars. Very nice. Grandmaster Yoda's 11 stars. Very good. Hermit Yoda you've got. Ezra, no. Bastila. If so, you've got the pieces. So, a Territory War team is Bastila, not your General Kenobi. You want to save him for offense, but you can go Bastila, Old Ben, Grandmaster Yoda, Hermit Yoda, Ezra as a combination, right? On defense. You always want to keep General Kenobi with your Barriss. That's just a combination you do not want to break up because theirs really on her own is not really.
But his Barriss is also not in any real condition.
Right, I'm just saying in general. How you want to keep Kenobi and Barriss together.
Barriss together, yeah. But for him, he may want to put Kenobi on his
you
Bastila
could,
team.
Yeah, you could, and it really makes it really good instead of Old Ben, and then you can use Old Ben like on your COS team for offense, or you can put him on your JTR team. I've seen a lot of people do that. I prefer to run Chopper on my JTR team, just because he's a little pain in the ass on that team to try to get around. That dodge he gets from when he taunts evasion is like, but yeah, you could. That's a team you could look at to running for defense as well. Some people use it on offense, so there's different ways you can do that. Your Kenobi Zera's team is really good. You can run that with a Rex. I like to run 5s, and then I'll use a Thrawn in there because Thrawn can just fracture, and you can just burn down that person that's fractured while your team is protecting your Thrawn. And he's putting up, it's just almost impossible to get to Thrawn, and he's just running around just wrecking people. It really is disgusting, and they can't crit you. You're constantly healing up. It's really nasty team. So that's a team you could use on offense if you get it going. Let's see who else. Let's look at his Imperial Troopers. I always like to look at the troopers, see where they're at. Pretty solid. Fears is 11. Troopers 12, 11, 11. Yeah, you've got your troopers right where you need them. Let's start. That team's really good against any kind of rebel lineup. It's really good against Night Sisters. It's really good against Phoenix. Because once it gets going, especially with the bonuses they get against the good guys, I like to say, it's really a solid team on offense. That's a really disgusting team. I mean, I can't say enough. And if you get your Snow Trooper to Gear 12, which is I'm working on gearing my troopers right now. Well, I was, but I'm having to change my focus a little bit. But mine are all Gear 11, and I can tell you, even a Gear 11 Snow Trooper, he hits hard. At Gear 12 with the bayonet, he really hits hard. Oh my god, he just AoEs constantly, and it's disgusting.
Yeah,
but against those teams like Rebels or Phoenix, the Night Sisters, because zombies constantly dying, you're just constantly feeding that team turn meter, and it's resetting their abilities, and they're just you just control the board. Right, it does struggle against some of the upper teams because if they're not killing people fast, which is what this team does, or it can't control the board, it can get smoked. So anything like Rogue One, CLS teams, Phoenix, Night Sisters are the teams you can use for the Imperial Troopers. What other teams should we look at? I think we've covered quite a lot here. Jedi Troopers.
You mentioned Jedi Training Rey. How are all of his resistance? Because splitting up, two of the things in Territory Wars that you always need to check now is how you split up your resistance and how you split up your
resistance needs some work. I mean, he's got JTR.
Well, does he have
R2.
Finn Zeta? That's the first question.
I don't know if he has Finn Zeta. I don't think so. He's Gear 9.
No, he doesn't have Finn Zeta.
So the team you can run is you can run JTR R2 BB or BB8 Well, there's different trains of thoughts on this, right? Some people like to take R2 out of that team. I don't personally. But the other team is, you could run JTR. Let's just say you want to do this. JTR, I'm just throwing this out there. JTR, R2, BB-8, Scavenger Rig, Chopper.
I hope you didn't kill anyone.
And then
I
you
know
can run
for it.
Finn. Finn, all you need is the Zeta. He does not have to be fast. Your Poe is the key part of this. Poe, extremely fast Poe, with like Resistance Trooper, throwing a pilot, and you can either go Holdo or Tico. Some people like, or you can use both once you get them up there. That team is really, really good. I like to use Rose. I know Loki loves Rose on that team because of what she can do. Because once that team gets going, especially if you have a fast Poe, we played the video this week where we showed just Poe, Trooper, and Finn against a trade team. 3-on-5 took it out. Because if you have a fast enough Poe, which you can do, if Poe goes at any time for all your other tunes and he's not controlled, he will do his AoE and give exposed. And once they start hitting exposed
and turn meter reduce
and turn meter reduction, and once he starts doing that, the rest of those guys keep doing the same thing, and you can easily. That's why it's really good against First Order and some other teams. Some other teams it struggles against.
Yeah, once you get the First Order, or get the Resistance expose engine running, it does not stop.
No.
Quick
it just
thing
keeps
here.
on going. And
So, Sword of the Jedi donated $14.99 in super chat and said, for another lightsaber sold and money for the rant. Well,
thank you, Sword of the Jedi.
He does make really, really good lightsabers. He made one that even Loki was impressed with. I mean, that's pretty high praise.
Those guys, man, they're incredible, man. I can't.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're awesome.
If I really committed, I could get into that. It's so. I'll admire it from afar and just be super impressed because that is just something.
If only I had the time or the money to do that kind of stuff, man, that would be so fun.
So his team, so going back to Obi-Wan Kenobi, so his team is interesting, right? Because I'm trying to figure out how I would split up. So there's a few factions that have a bunch of characters that you need to figure out how to split. Sith, Resistance, and Rebels. And so those are the three factions in particular you're trying to figure out how to
Sith,
split.
you
right?
want to go like you want to keep the Triumvirate together, right? And then you can go like Sith Trooper, Assassin, a Dooku, something along those lines, right? Then you take the Palpatine lead with Vader, and
some people do love them all, though. I'm gonna say some people really love them all.
I really don't. I don't think it gets stomped. It really does. I see it on defense, and I'm just like, no. Don't. Why did you do this? Unfortunately, it's not. It just doesn't. With all the teams out there, it's not reliable. On defense, even on offense, you can get destroyed with it because it's so unreliable what can happen. You're counting on that. If you're talking Zal lead, right? Finn, is what we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just not reliable, and
it's Zal lead with a Triumvirate and Sith Trooper.
Yeah, I could see that possibly, but
it's an interesting team because your two taunters, Scion and Trooper, are going to have their taunt, right? And everyone else is going to be stealth, so it actually reduces the chance that you can attack anybody else. It helps against Enfys, for example. And there's a lot of RNG involved, which is part of the reason why people play it. And because of that, there's a lot of turn meter gain because you get the initial turns because of Maul's lead. They all gain the extra turn meter if you have it Zeta'd. And so it becomes that your Triumvirate will go first almost regardless of whatever you're doing. And there's almost no way to stop it. Like even a fast Nest can't really stop it if you have the Maul lead.
Yeah.
And here's the really fun thing though with that is, giving that extra dodge chance to Scion. It's so fun to see Scion dodge hits all the time.
I know, but it's so RNG dependent. And
it is. It's an RNG team, but that's why some people like it because if you're in a category where everyone is just kind of beating everybody else with one turn, you add something for RNG in there, and it helps to maybe change it. So
I could see possibly working. I mean, I could see that working with the Zal lead with those guys. I wouldn't. It'd be something to try out, but I haven't seen a lot of it for that reason. If we see Zal teams, it's like it's Zal with Savage and some other Sith, and it just gets
right.
It's an easy.
But so so Sith splitting is one thing, right? But we were looking at the resistance.
Right.
And
I still think you need to keep JTR, R2, BB-8.
So that's where I may differ with you, is the R2 aspect. And that's because he has a gold scavenger ray and resistance trooper, right? So what I'm thinking may be worth it for him. So if we're putting
R2
Kenobi
on the other one, and then just add Chopper with BB-8 ray.
Well, his Chopper also isn't ready. His Chopper's
I'm
only
just saying that in the long-term view.
Oh,
or,
yeah.
You could go with Kenobi with that
Right
team.
now, he's using Kenobi, let's say, with the Bastila team, right?
Which is not ready yet.
Yeah, his Bastila team isn't ready yet, but if you are going to... Is his Bastila team not ready yet?
No,
I thought it was...
His Bastila's not even Gear 8.
No.
Gear 8 and
well, I mean, all she really needs is a Zeta on her leader, but you could...
Yeah, but you want her Gear 11.
Yeah.
I mean, to be really effective, you want her Gear 11, because the more... The higher level and stuff she is, the more she's spreading. But yeah, go ahead, Finn.
Yeah, so then potentially what you could do is a Jedi Training Ray, BB-8, Scavenger Ray, Resistance Trooper, since you don't need to save Resistance Trooper under a Finn lead, which normally you would. And then you can put your General Kenobi on that team. And then...
Until he can get Holdo up.
Or
if you want to work on
Azaris. But you really want to keep Kenobi and Azaris, but I could see that.
Yeah, and then your CLS team could then be CLS, R2, Han Solo, Chirrut, and Baze, right? And then you have your old Ben, because you don't have your Barris ready, you can keep your old Ben for offense, because he is pretty good on offense.
Who's the tank going to be for the Scav or the JTR team?
JTR would be General Kenobi.
General Kenobi, all right. Then the other resistance team would be Finn, Zeta Finn.
Well, he doesn't have another resistance team because his Finn doesn't have a Zeta. That team without a Zeta Finn is...
Oh, well, yeah, you're going to need a Zeta Finn. But if you have a Zeta Finn,
I'm thinking right now, based on his roster, he doesn't need to worry about a second resistance team because his Finn isn't Zetaed.
True.
And so he only needs to worry about one. So you can stick Resistance Trooper on the Jedi Training Ray team and go Jedi Training Ray, BB-8, Scavenger Ray, Resistance Trooper, and General Kenobi. And then for your CLS, you could do CLS, R2, Han Solo. You could do Chirrut and Baze, potentially. Or if you wanted to use Old Ben on that team, you could look for another Rebel that you have that may fit well in that team, potentially a Lando. Ideally, you would use someone like Fulcrum Ahsoka or Captain Han Solo, but I see those aren't ready yet. But just some considerations on how to split it, because you're looking for characters with leaders that are worthwhile. And so the few factions that have a lot of characters that you need to worry about, Sith, Rebels, and Resistance. They have multiple really good leaders for territory wars, whether it's defense or offense. And being able to split those in a good way ends up being the key as you move forward.
All right. Any other teams and stuff? Well, there's quite a lot of teams we covered and stuff for this roster we can get into.
I mean, so he has his Night Sisters. We went over that. His Bounty Hunters is not going to be a Bosk lead. It's going to be a Boba lead. Right. So it's going to be kind of a take out somebody with a lot of damage type of team.
Right.
So it's going to be a little bit of a cleanup squad that you have with your Imperial Troopers. You said were pretty much done, right?
They're all Gear 12, 11, so yeah, they're pretty solid.
So that's also a pretty good team to kill something with very quickly. Night Sisters is the very easy counter. They can actually work against a lot of teams, including something like a CLS team, because they do mass attack, and Death Trooper in particular can daze with his basic, and so that can prevent CLS from
CLS and with Chirrut and Baze and stuff, because Death Trooper will debuff the shit out of them, and then and then they do so much bonus against Rebels and stuff that it's an easy team to take out.
Oh, dude, you should see it when Range Trooper is on that team.
Yeah, that's another
it's
one.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, Solus, when you have Range Trooper, what do you think?
Yeah, the Range Trooper is pretty awesome.
From the mouth of babes, Solus, so one has spoken. All right. Anything else?
Let's see here. How about Murder Bears? Those ones are still
always good
for TW, aren't they?
Yeah. But that's a later end team.
His Murder Bears aren't bad. They're Gear 10, Gear 9, Gear 8. Without the Paplu, so it's going to be a little bit of a harder lineup to do cleanup. If you run the Tebow lead like I do, it works great for PvE. It's really slow on attack in territory wars, you might time out with those. And I mean, it'll be a good team. You'll probably, if you're still facing them, what GP is his guild?
Oh, I have no idea.
152. Okay. Potentially, you are facing some weaker Phoenix squads. This is a good squad to take out Phoenix, but you'll need to aim for a little bit of the weaker ones, because if they start regenerating protection and everything very quickly, you're going to run into issues. So if you want to run Ewoks, you have to gear them up a little bit more, about gear 10, 11 for the most part, and then work on your Paplu. But they are a good squad. They are a much later game squad. I think you're better off focusing on your first order.
Yeah, focus on your main teams, and then as you work your way down, as you start getting stuff that you get taken care of, you just kind of, domino effect. Once you get stuff done, you start moving down the list, and then you're rocking and rolling. All right,
work on your Wampa. Your Wampa gear 8.
Hermit Yoda versus
Wampa is a good sub-in for any team. Just stick him in there. He takes damage.
Yeah, the General Kenobi Zera's team with Rex, just throw Wampa in there and be like, I win.
Mm-hmm. You have an Empire team and you need another character, throw in a Wampa.
Yeah, that's a win.
Got a bounty hunter missing somebody, throw in a Wampa. Wampa's so good.
If a squad is perfect.
Yeah, I'm about to unlock Wampa here today, hopefully. And I'm immediately going to gear his monkey ass up, and he's going in my Zeta Barris team. It's like, okay, Barris, Rex, Kenobi, 5s. Wampa, go kill everything. Just get angry, go.
Wampa.
Just go in there and kick ass, Wampa. That's what I'm paying you for. Quit bitching. All right. I think that's pretty in depth. I don't think anything else he wanted us to look at.
Other than it sounds like somebody's mic is shorting out.
It's probably Mike drinking tea.
That might be.
No, it's Chrome Cobra. Messing up the stream as usual. No, I don't want Xbox.
Well, I just went 25 and 19 with a pistol. Yay.
What?
All right, let's move to questions.
Call of Duty.
Mike's not even here playing. Oh my god.
You said duty. Sorry.
Nathaniel Miller, question: thoughts on the announced Night Sister reworks?
Go to Wednesday night stream.
No. I think he's talking about the new ones. The one that came out yesterday.
Yeah, the one that came out yesterday of them supposedly buffing Night Sister Acolyte instead of nerfing her like they were talking about. And
it does nothing. It changes really nothing. So I did talk to SP Crumb, and he confirmed that Night Sister Acolyte's basic will do stealth regardless of whether or not
SP Crumb? How come nobody wants to talk to me? I guess because I'm an evil dick. Damn it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Do they hate me, Finn? I think they hate me.
I don't know. I haven't asked them directly.
Say, do you think Ranger's a douche? What? Grim, I swear to God, I will punch you so hard, you'll think the second coming of Christ had come.
So SB Crom did confirm that the basic of Night Sister Acolyte is going to give a chance for stealth regardless of whether or not you hit somebody with foresight or not. So there isn't a need to hit in order to do the stealth. And so the change is now, instead of double tapping a 70% chance each, it's a single attack that has a 90% chance to stealth.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, overall, I mean, it's a minimal amount. You lose 1% chance to stealth, but I mean, that's really kind of nothing.
See, that kind of change I don't have a problem with. But the other changes where it was like dramatically changing the whole thing of whether the Night Sister worked.
Yeah.
It was like...
So they did some other interesting things too. So the other one is that now, so it used to double tap, right? So now instead of double tapping, it does double damage. So her basic, instead of hitting twice, is going to do more damage. Now that does get affected by foresight, obviously, because it used to be that you could at least get 50% of your damage in because you would hit the foresight with the first, and then you'd miss. You would hit it with the second. Now you do the one hit, and you essentially do no damage. So it's a little bit of a nerf there. It's not a huge change, but it is going to probably change a little bit on how you deal with foresight with your basic. And then the other thing they changed was her unique, and her unique now, instead of recovering 20% health on critical hit, recovers 40% health on critical hit. And again, that's because of the double tapping going to a single hit. So instead of 2 attacks being able to register 20% each time, resulting in 40, now they just give you straight 40. So those were the changes, and that will result in the Critolite team not being able to gain 100% turn meter because Acolyte will only attack once, which means the effect from Asajj Ventress's lead will only affect once, which means Acolyte is only gaining 50% turn meter. And so she'll only get up to 50% turn meter, and you've broken this infinite loop. You did change Acolyte though. It's not the worst change they could do. So I'm not really super upset with their change here.
No, I'm not. See, if they announced that initially, that would have been fine. I would have like, okay, that's well thought out. That's very well. See, I know CG. There's some smart dudes over there, man, and dudettes. Well, they really think about stuff, and they get some good positive, and they get some feedback, and not just look at data, but get feedback from the data as well. They really make some good choices. It's just when they come up with this random stuff that, again, go see.
Oh yeah, and Zombie's going to be changed at the end of September.
Never mind. I take back everything I just
said. Yeah, they said they're working on their rework for Zombie. They're still trying to figure out exactly how they want to do it, and that's slated for the end of September.
They better beta test.
They'll also refund the alphas. I mean, we discussed this, right? There's really one thing they have to do. Forgetting about the fact, so the big problem that they'll never be able to get over, and let's just be honest about it. The one thing they cannot get over is the fact that they allowed Zombie to stay this way for so long.
And said that it was legit.
Well, it was legit because it's not like people were exploiting anything, right? So I'm fine with them saying that it's a legitimate strategy and it's not an exploit because that's what they put in game. The problem is they didn't address it if they really thought that having a weak Zombie was a problem. And there's, unfortunately, I mean, it's better late than never, but it's still late. And so there's nothing that can change the fact that they're late to making these modifications. That being said, the change that they need to make is, I think, fairly simple. We discussed this before. And while I said it was inverse leveling, I don't think it necessarily needs to be that, where you lose health and protection potentially. If there's maybe a way that you can switch Zombie from weak to strong and back and forth if you hit gear 12, so you kind of get like a toggle, whatever it is, they have to make it so there is a benefit to gearing up Zombie above gear 4, right? Above gear 5, above gear 6, whatever it is, there needs to be a benefit for it. And so that's what they'll have to do. Just figure out a way to weaken Zombie as you get higher rather than making her stronger. But then you do need the option to make her stronger because a strong Zombie does help against an Imperial Trooper squad, and so you do want to keep that in mind.
Well, the toggle thing is probably the best idea. Just give it an extra unique skill that, like, say, L3 skill, every time you use it, it does a certain thing. But as you level it up, you know, like level 1 is reduce the zombie's protection by 50%. And, you know, as it goes up, eventually it completely removes protection and starts lowering her hit points to where she gets squishier, but you could still have her gear 12.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they have a few options they can do, so I'm still waiting on them to do something, but I'm not super worried about the fact that they're just saying, yeah, we're going to reduce Zombie or whatever. I'm fine with that as long as we have to see what the change is. So far, so good. I didn't really mind the post from yesterday.
Did he reach out to you, or did you reach out to him, Finn?
I reached out to him.
And you didn't want to include him in the conversation?
Not really.
I don't blame you. I'm like I've got to be the most hated man there. CG Carey likes me, but that's because I think me and CG Carey are kind of like the same person. She's such a badass. I love CG Carey, but I don't know, the rest of them must like really think I'm like the biggest douche on the planet. And I don't care because you know what? I've said it a million times and I'll say it again. I'm here for the community and for the players. You know, I will be that buffer. And, you know, I tell CG what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. You know,
that's what we all do. That's why we like having so many people, because it's not just you don't want to just hear one voice, right? You want to hear voice of multiple people. We have different opinions. Sometimes Grande will yell at Ranger. Sometimes Ranger will yell at Grande.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the way it works.
Yeah, we have gone at it.
And very rarely do I yell.
No. We need to work on that. Let's get to some questions.
Paul Morgan, question: in Phase 4 Sith Raid, around how many stacks of Bonds of Weakness can you have before needing to clear them?
Depends on the strength of your Night Sisters.
Yeah.
Like the most I've seen people like survive with was around 44, 43, something like that, and that's really, really high-end top gear. In general, people will clear somewhere between the, I'm going to say 16 to 25 range.
Yeah, it's right
Because
around
at that
20.
point, the
I was
damage
about to
gets
say
too high.
20 is about when you're like, okay, clear. And then...
Yeah.
Because I think you've got... Daka can do it, and then who's the other one? Is Doc and Towson can do
You
it.
can do it.
Talia can do it.
Clear.
Yeah.
Like
Did
I
Mike say
start
something?
mine off slow. I got the
No, I
Dr.
was gonna
Zeta.
say,
I start mine off at like 15 or 20, and as it gets into like 6, 7 rounds to go, I'll actually start stacking mine up to 50, 60, 70 Bonds of Weakness, because Daka has stacked so much health that every time she uses her health recovery, everybody gets back to full health, even with 60 bonds, and then everybody's dying so fast she can, every time it's her turn, she can revive and heal. So I mean, I'll run mine 60, 70, 80 Bonds of Weakness when there's like 5 rounds to go to, get the motor running for the last few turns.
What were you saying, Mike?
That similar thing. I pushed my luck when the turn meter, is fairly slow. I'll rack it up to 40, 50 or so, and then normally.
Yeah, I think that was the problem that they had with the initial rollout. I think a lot of people were clearing around 20 or so, but that works only if you don't have a Zeta Daka. And also if you have some that are like gear 11, right? Once you start hitting gear 12 and you get that Zeta on the Daka, the numbers go so much higher. That 20 was way too low with that initial patch little fix thing that they did. So that was one of the major problems. All right, next question.
Mark Rayner, question: when taking tunes to gear 11, how far into gear 11 do you take them before you consider them done? Do you concentrate on gear 11 gear?
As long as it's not a stun gun, a thermal detonator, Carbonti, or a black eyeball.
The only gear 11 gear I will go out of my way to put on tunes is if they have the one that adds speed.
Yep, Mark 6 thermal detonator, not the Mark
And
5.
that's usually after that it's done.
Or there's
Unless
the
it's on
6
arena
pieces.
team.
That adds speed, apparently.
Huh?
You sometimes get a speed increase when you go to gear 12. So I'm just saying, if you add all 6,
Oh, yeah.
you get a speed increase. Sorry, I'm being silly.
Robert MCC 88 or 83. Question: when is mod management coming to the game?
Soon, TM.
Soon, TM.
You have no idea.
Damn it. Y'all beat me to it.
They haven't said anything about it yet, and we can probably expect something soon. So, not the actual update. I'm sure they can. They said that they're going to roll this out slowly. So I don't know what the next thing that they're going to roll out is. We'll wait for some more communication. They've been good about the communication, so just keep a lookout for that, and then we'll go from there. But there's nothing official yet.
Gives them plenty of time to fix each part they slowly roll out, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Which is good. That's the way it should be. As long as there's nothing like super broken, like they can fix and move things slowly. So.
Yeah.
I swear, daughter,
Bob,
Is it Ice
what
Cube
is
truck
that?
reversing?
I will say adios.
The hell?
So my old lady's backing up.
Yeah,
Roll up.
yeah.
Don't say that. You don't no.
Who's that
We
old
don't need-
lady? That's my old lady.
I said that's my old lady backing up. Leave her alone.
No, she'll come on here and start cursing. She's worse than swear your daughter. Next question, and let's pretend that never happened.
Pretend what happened.
Chewy, question: what are your thoughts for content coming this month?
I'm up in the air.
Django.
No, I don't think it's going to be Django.
I think it's going to be Aura Singh, but I think it's going to be either Django, Embo, or Aura Singh. My guess is Aura Singh.
But Embo is in the game
I'd
already.
say-
So.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
model is in
Aura-
the game, which puts him at a little advantage. But
Well, Aura Singh supposedly is in the game as well. She's in the data files at least.
oh yeah, I'm not counting that. I mean, Embo is actually in the game, like in a node as a NPC. So
But as far as new characters being added, possibly Embo, possibly Aura Singh. I don't see Jango Fett coming yet. But I think it's more on the grounds of, hey, Clone Wars, maybe we're going to see Cad Bane get a rework, and maybe Zam. Because they need it badly.
Nah.
Chewie, question, any thoughts on the forum post for yesterday about their change to the Acolyte and Sith Raid that'll be released next week, and that Zombie will be changed by the end of September?
Yeah, I think we covered that with the first question.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, grumble, 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 grumble.
Hands, sandwiches. Question, is there a list of the order in which your team will do roster reviews?
No. There's no... I mean, it's in the order that we get it. So, since he's listening right now, yours is either going to be... I was just about getting ready to message you soon, Hand Sandwich. You are either next week or the following week. So you're within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, we always will let you know, like, ahead of time.
Yep, I PM, and everyone can attest to this. So I'll PM you when it's coming close to your roster review time. I'll ask you guys to confirm what you want us to review for your roster, and then I'll tell you which lunch stream it's going to be scheduled on, so you know exactly which one to watch. So you don't have to worry about that. We're not going to just do a roster review without you guys knowing. So.
Yeah.
Cyberbully42W, question, I just got $150 worth of iTunes credit for my birthday. Should I spoil myself now or wait until November for the 3rd anniversary sales? I'm level 75 on a 2-month-old shard.
You can just put that on the Patreon account, thank you. No, here's what I would say. Wait for a tune that you really want, that's really good, that you really like, and then splurge a little. You know, if there's nothing out right now that you really are wanting, then I say wait. But, you know, because there's no need, just because you have it doesn't mean you need to use it per se. If you can find that character that, you know, really makes your heart sing, you know, then yeah, go for it. But if not, then I'd say wait.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to spend, there's a couple other things you could potentially spend on if you want to spend it slowly. The $10 packs are usually not bad, right? You can buy the new characters, buy the $10 packs, get them to gear, or get them to 4-star. If you really like it, don't buy it on useless ones, right? So that can potentially be a way that you could do it. Another thing you could do is buy the Omega packs that come for crystals. Like, for example, there's it's here now, right? Or maybe it's gone now. There was the Omega pack that was here that you could buy one. Is it still up? Checking now. No, it's not up. I think it ended last week. I think it ended last week or something. But the pack was there where you could spend 16 or 1700 crystals. You can get some of the ability mats, and you could only purchase one per day. Potentially, you could buy those if you wanted to exchange some for crystals and buy it during that time frame. Those aren't a bad purchase. Another thing is if you need crystals in order to buy good things out of shipments, there are some things in shipments that are worth the crystals. So the Mark III holo projectors, for example, the black eyeballs are really good. Mm-hmm. So those are always good to get as well. If you're focusing on trying to get a new character, you're fine for saving. But otherwise, you could always focus on just buying gear in order to get more of your characters up to gear 11. There is... I have to find it now, because Grande sent it to me a little while ago. It is Goodnight Punk. No, was it Goodnight Punk or Wink? I think it was Wink. They made a table that showed you what the Shattered Order guys, they made like this whole PDF file that shows you what the best value for gear is in the shipments. And it's not just shipments, it's everywhere in the game based on where is the best place to get this gear. And it's by the Shattered Order guys, and it breaks down which ones you would want to buy out of shipments versus which ones you want to farm versus which ones you want to get out of guild store, all these different kind of things. I'm trying to see if I can... Oh, there it is, gear buying guide. There we go. So I'm going to put it in the YouTube chat right now. But this is a really good resource if you're looking for an idea about how to spend. Gear is a good way, but you do want to buy it efficiently. And there's a column there that says shipments, crystals per unit, and you want to look at ones that are lower crystals per unit in shipments and where you can farm them otherwise, and then potentially buy those. And a lot of them are the ones that we've been mentioning: the black eyeballs, the Mark III hollow projectors, those kind of things. Carbantes you don't want to get because you get them free from challenges, and they're on an 8 energy node, stuff like that. So. Take a look at that resource. Wink did a really good job on
it. Chewy, question. What would you like to see released next in game, and what reworks do you want?
I'm fine with no reworks, and Legendary Bounty Hunter would be cool. Ranger's answer is Revan. Dane's answer is Eternal Twins. Grim, what about you?
Voltron.
Okay, so we have a Voltron Mike. Or did Mike leave? Mike had to go, right? Okay. Grande, what about you? Is Grande just lurking? Grande's lurking. Okay. How many more questions do we have? Mr. Sanely?
We got like 9.
9? Okay, let's do we're already over time here. Let's say 3 more. Let's do 3 more.
Okay. Thane Kyrell, question: both Ezra and Sabine fit in non-Phoenix teams, so would Fat fit on as a 5th on a Phoenix team?
No, unfortunately, because she doesn't get any kind of synergy. She actually works better with the... Strangely enough, you could put her on the Jedi team instead of Ezra and leave Ezra with the Phoenix. And just keep on getting those buffs on her. Yeah, she becomes kind of OP under a Phoenix team.
Okay, I'm not counting this one as a question.
Okay.
Waffle Dolphin, question: can you give Finity a shout-out for helping me out with helping me find my ship shard on Discord yesterday? Just wanted to say thanks again.
Hey.
No problem, Mr. Waffle Dolphin.
Okay, Nathaniel Miller, what speed does Poe need for a Zeta Fin resistance team in light side territory battles?
Over 9,000.
Honestly, it doesn't matter.
I think it's like...
Because after you get through the first wave,
or 70
you have...
you want on him or something like that? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's like the minimum, because all you need to do is get through the first wave. Because at the end of each wave, if you're doing it correctly, you're attacking somebody that has stacks of expose. So you kill that person and you feed like full turn meter to your squad. So going into every wave, you have like full turn meter. That's the essential goal. So with Poe, you're looking for high potency, and maybe you really only need like 60 or 70 speed. If that, you can probably even go a little bit lower. They just need to survive the first wave and get some exposes up.
Tim Bedard, question: can...
Zeta Fin, right? Just to confirm, he did say Zeta Fin team with the Poe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tim Bedard, question: can Spaceman Tim get a shout out because it's my birthday? Happy birthday!
Hey, happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Spaceman Tim!
And happy birthday, Nukin.
Oh yeah, that's... Now for my Wampa, should I go offense or crit chance, or both?
For what?
Wampa. Crit chance, right?
Crit damage, you mean?
Crit damage. I want crit damage. Okay, crit damage.
Yeah, because he gains crit chance when he does his yell after 4 turns, so then you just get a stack. Well,
so
what do you
go offense then? Offense and crit damage? Or crit damage?
Wait, what are you...
I'm putting mods on Wampa. What mods should I put on?
No, what are you using him for?
What do you mean? Whatever I can get my bloody freaking hands on. Whatever I can use for everywhere.
So if you're only focusing on light side territory battles, for example, right? The buffs that he gains to himself reset after each wave. So for that one, for example, you might be better off focusing on offense over critical damage, because he won't get that much critical hits, because he won't get his yell in order to stack it. If you're using him in raids, all you need is 1 yell, and now he's going to get his critical damage up. And I'm calling it a yell. I know people are going to critique me. I just can't remember the name of the ability. I'll look it up. But
okay, gotcha.
But yeah, so if you're using him in raids, then you want critical damage. Offense secondaries is fine, and speed. But once he does his furious foe and he gets his yell and everything going, then you can yeah. It's just a little different for light side territory battles because it resets so often. Or dark side territory battles, not light side. All right, next question.
Nathaniel Morgan, question: what gear / Zetas do you need to beat Dark Side Territory Battle Phase 6 Special Mission? What about Sanely Trooper?
What about Sanely Trooper?
That's
How about the one today, the Imperial
No.
Bounty
I'm
kind of
asking
mission?
you.
Well, I can't even do that one because I don't have a 7-star Imperial probe droid, so I don't know.
Of all the things you're missing, you have the 7-star Sanely Trooper, but not the 7-star Imperial Probe Droid.
Yep.
They should let you do it anyways. Seriously, if you got a 7-star Range Trooper, that should count. Yes, I know I said light side. It's because we're doing light side right now. I know Wampa is dark side. I mean dark side territory battle.
Get off this.
Always.
Why is it he gets hungry, he gets his arm chopped off, and all of a sudden he's the bad guy?
Well,
I mean, that's not
Glenn.
fair to Wampa.
So did you know
Yeah,
that Mark Hamill was actually mad that the Wampa got his arm chopped off? He thought he was just going to be like singeing the Wampa's hair, and then was mad later when he saw the cut and it showed him cutting the arm off.
Yeah, because he didn't know it until like post-production or something like that, didn't he? Or something like that. That he didn't know that the arm was getting chopped off until after the movie was pretty much already made. Like as they were doing it, he was under the assumption that that wasn't going to happen.
Right.
But yeah, I haven't done the final mission, so I can't tell you for sure. Ranger, have you done the final mission?
Yeah,
Dark Side Territory Battle? Oh, okay. So we'll tell you as soon as we've done it more.
It is very, very, very,
I mean,
very
I went there
tough.
with my Gear 11 troopers and stuff. I'm like, I got this shit. I'm dead.
You need Gear 12. You need bayonets on snow. You need med packs and stuff like that on Veers and Stark. I mean, they're tough.
It was.
Oh, there you go.
It's you need
you
need Gear 12 and you need at least a Gear
ones
10
I've
11
played.
probe droid, and you need the Zedon probe droid. You have no chance in hell if you don't have it. It is that tough because those rebels go and it's like, wait a minute, no!
It's one of the toughest missions that I've seen in game. It's up there with the Jedi Mythic event on difficulty.
Yeah, I blame Finn.
Me too.
All right. I think that's it for questions.
All right.
Yeah,
I have a
we
question.
Oh god. Okay.
No, this is a serious one. Is anybody else getting freaking hosed on platoons with all these new pay-to-play guys? We're having to do
that's
2.
normal.
Oh,
That
I mean,
happens
no,
every
not
time.
like this. Not this bad. I mean, this seems like there's a huge influx of characters into the game. We have 6 or 7, 8 Sith fighters in our ships today. We got 4 Jolies, 2 or 3 Bastilas, missions, and Zalbars. Like we can barely field any platoons today. Like normally we go 4 or 6 or 6 or 6 in a lot of these. These new tunes have really put a hurting on us today.
I've
yesterday.
cared less and less about platoons as territory battles have gone on. You do get a little bit of bonus galactic power and all that kind of stuff, but I would much rather people focus on their missions. More so in dark side than light side, but I mean, this is... It gets silly after a while. It's like, okay, that's fine. I don't really care. Just
Yeah, I
fill
think
whatever.
them off.
We're filling one ship squadron and 2 in each middle and bottom of the platoons, and that's it.
That's all we do is 2 or 6 in each of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I blame Finn.
Nah, it's not wrong.
I say normally it just seems like, even when they do have the pay to play, it's not this bad, like there's one here, one there or something. But
Chewy really wants his question asked.
Oh, right, fine.
Chewy, question. What do you believe the next legendary tune or ship will be? The Eternal Twins, maybe?
Really?
And that's all the time we have.
No.
That's all the time we have. You're a piece of crap. Here I am trying to level up my Wampa, and y'all give me this garbage.
Maybe Human Thing or the Eternal Twins. Which one would you be, Ranger?
The one that lives. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there.
The twins from the Matrix are better.
They are, man. They're badass. I love their, white on white hair and stuff.
Yep.
They look slick.
Yeah. So that's the final decision. Matrix twins are better. Okay.
Well, technically they weren't twins, they were programs.
The twin programs are better.
Oh,
yeah. I'm still with that. The woman in the red dress was a program, but you don't see me changing my attitude about her.
That's right.
That Jessica Rabbit?
Oh, yeah. God, don't even bring up my 10-year-old fantasies.
All right, I'm leveling up the Wampas.
Oh,
I was going to comment on that, but this isn't the mature channel.
Yeah, we're going down memory lane anyways.
How did Roger Rabbit even get a wife like that? I mean, how much money was he making?
Forget that. Okay, so I'm going to go to something more current now. Why do women on Family Guy continue to date a freaking dog?
I don't know.
Like, what kind of society is this where somehow a dog is a great catch because he drives
a cartoon, Finn, for Christ's sakes.
Still.
And again, I was going to comment, but this isn't the mature channel.
I mean, if I go out and find me a girlfriend and she's got 4 legs, I'm going to get thrown in jail, be humiliated. I mean, maybe even burned at the stake.
You're in the general area where maybe that can be accepted.
A little further north, and we get into like more sheep territory, but possibly around here it's more like goats, I'd say.
Okay, we need to end the stream now. Ranger, you want to end it?
I'm working on Wampa. I hate you guys.
Wampa, Wampa.
I hate you so much.
Wampa technically only has 2 legs, but he's hairy like a sheep.
All I know is I'm gearing him up and stuff, so...
He's good. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, I put some good mods on him, and got a crit damage set on him. I got some offense with crit offense and stuff on it, so health set. So, yeah, it's looking pretty solid.
Okay. Doja-san says it's a metaphor for the fact that douche guys that are dogs get hot chicks because they're bad boy persona.
Word? Homie?
He's not exactly
Bad
wrong.
boys don't drive Priuses. That's all I got to say.
Word? Alright, so if you're watching this, this is the RSG Lunch Stream. I'm Ranger J1999, joined, of course, by the Knuckleheads. That is the RSG crew. Grim the Complainer, Stingley the Soulless One, Dr. Finn Medicine Woman, Chrome the Weed Smoker. I'm sorry, Medicinal Herb Connoisseur.
Puffist.
Yeah,
Puffist.
Yeah. Mike, my wife Thingray me, Hunt, and of course the rest of the crew that couldn't be here, the lovely Tits, Sir Loki the Lightsaber Builder, the big deal Grande Patron, the list goes on. But if you like what you see, make sure you subscribe to the channel, guys, so you can get the latest updates for all the new events that are coming up. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. By subscribing, you know when we're streaming. So tomorrow we have the Jedi Academy stream from 10 to 12, where we basically Q&A show. We bring up people like Remon, Warrior, the best of the best and the brightest, and then we sprinkle in some mental damage people like me and Finn to answer your your Star Wars Galaxy Heroes questions. T-Money's there. There's a whole bunch of fun people that come on and answer your questions. And then tomorrow night from 10 to whenever we get done, usually about 3-4 hours, is on the RSG Mature channel, not this channel. We have the RSG Mature Saturday night where we just kind of hang out, drink, have fun, play games. And we talk shop, but we just have fun. And then Sunday from 5 to usually 7:30, 8 p.m. is our D&D campaign, which has been a lot of fun. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback from that. Finn, how do you think the D&D campaign is going? I asked Grim this earlier. What do you think?
I mean, I love D&D, so it's fun.
Yep.
We have some people I think that are a little quiet, but we'll get them.
I'm working on it. I really am. I got an NPC in there, so they ain't get away with that shit anymore. So your days of being quiet are over. What's that noise? What is that? Wait, I hear. What is that?
Hello?
I think it's a,
God,
it's a big deal sighting. It's a big deal sighting.
Oh
Live
God!
from
Oh
the
God!
field.
Grande! It's Grande!
Right.
Oh God!
I'm reporting live from in the field.
Okay, where are you at now, Grande? Are you in the middle of the fires in California?
No, I'm driving to Big Lake.
Okay,
I don't know what they call it, Big Lake. There's a lake there.
and it's big.
Yeah.
And is there anything happening at the Big Lake today with the Big Deal? The Big Deal goes to the Big Lake. Oh my God! It's a news breaking story. Grande,
Which
can you
one's
tell us what's
bigger?
happening at the Big Lake with the Big Deal? Oh, we seem to lost our intrepid reporter in the field. Something, I think Bigfoot got him, Finn.
Who is a bigger deal? Is it a big deal or Bigfoot? Who's a bigger deal? The Big Deal Grande Patron or Bigfoot?
At the Big Lake.
Yeah, at the Big Lake.
Grande, we've seen Grande.
I just waved to T-Boone Pickens. T-Boone Pickens. I said, hello, T-Boone Pickens.
Okay. I think if Bigfoot met the Big Deal, he would be like, I'm going to eat you. And he's like, oh, Grande Patron, I didn't know it was you. I'm sorry. Here, would you like some berries or some, I just ate this camper over here if you'd like some. Share in my bountiful spoils of war.
Okay.
And Grande's, our intrepid reporter, has died. So,
I think he's giving it 350.
I told you not to give that large monster that 350. Goddamn woman, I told you not to give that large. Well, I had to give him the 350, so get out of here. Quit giving that damn large monster 350. And with that, make sure you check out our Patreon, guys. If you'd like to support the channel outside of subscribing and giving us a thumbs up, that's a big way to support our channel. Remember, everything we get, we use to go back right into the stream. Someday we'll be in the hooker and blow category, but we're not even close. We're not even sniffing it yet. So, with that being said, we're going to end the stream here. I just want to thank everybody for being. Have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Thank God it is Friday. Take care of yourself. Be safe, and we will holler at you later.